Do you think that the Biden administration, the Department of Education can do here? Because the Supreme Court, as we all remember back in June, shot down President Biden's sweeping student loan forgiveness
Yes.
plan. So is there anything that they could do specifically, lawmakers, the Biden administration, Department of Education, can do to really ease this impact on borrowers of color?
Yeah, I think one, you need to put pressure on the institutions to rationalize and to reduce and honestly offer a good education at a reasonable cost. I think that's one. Second, legislators should be looking at programs like the 21st Century Program in Indiana that basically allows a lower moderate income student to get to college and get to and through college without any cost to it. And then third, I think we have to face the reality that half of the kids in America are saying college is not for them. So I hope that the market pushes a little bit on universities. We're seeing some declining enrollment, and that's going to force universities as well to look at themselves and say, is the return worth it? Is it worth it for me to go as a black student to go to college and assume $52,000 of debt? Well, am I getting a good job? Do I get a job that allows me to pay that off? So I think those are some of the things that you have to look at.
This has been somewhat of a lightning rod issue in recent years. Some Americans are feeling crippled by student loans. Other
Yes.
Americans who maybe didn't go to college or didn't take out as many loans, maybe modified their dream when it comes to higher education, say, that you took out that loan, now it's on you to pay that back. And so it's really been a divisive issue here. So when it comes to student loans, do you think there's anything missing from the national conversation?
Well, I think what's missing from the national conversation is one is yes, the students did assume that debt, but when I look around many communities, I'm seeing companies that are short 500 staff, health systems that are short 1,500 staff, and I think we're doing a disservice to our local and national economies if we don't invest in our students. So finding a way for loan forgiveness is going to be critical. I do think it should be on the legislators to find a way to make it affordable. And I do think it should be on the administration to push universities to get the cost down, because more and more businesses need the talent that used to be coming out and flourishing from universities.
What do you think is the number one way to make colleges more affordable? Because when you're looking at colleges, these price tags are really shocking and staggering. And for the average American, you really have to say this tuition is going to be a major, if not the major factor in my college decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think students should stop going, and I think the market allows for that right now. We created a program called Great Jobs KC because we know in less than 6 months you can get some essential skills training, you can get some occupational skills training. You want to be HVAC, you want to be a welder, you want to be a phlebotomist, and these are jobs that are paying 50 to 100,000. We have commercial drivers, folks who got their commercial driver's license coming out making $110,000 plus benefits. I think we need to put pressure and have the market forces have universities look at themselves and get their cost to a rational place. And I also think there needs to be more pressure on the universities as well. You can't have a $40 billion endowment. That's just being greedy. You can't have a $40 billion endowment and not pay local property taxes. That seems to be upside down. So we need to have some legislation that pushes universities to stop hoarding wealth.
So do you think a college degree is really necessary anymore? Is that what you're saying?
I think twofold. I think that the college degree is still statistically gives you a better financial long-term picture. But the gap is closing, and particularly when students who are graduating are not always getting great jobs. And so they're getting jobs in the $30,000. There is no reason to go to college if you're going to come out, unless you're in social services. If you're in social services, that's different. But if you're going to college, the value proposition is different. And I think the Americans aren't tuned into the reality, which is 50%, it's 50-50. 50% of high school students do not choose college, they choose career. And 50% of those who choose college are dropping out by the end of the sophomore year. And the number one reason is financial burden and finances. So I think we have to look at this differently and have to start to encourage students to get a job. If you can come out of high school and get a really good paying job, save some money. And then if you want to go back to college and get your degree, go ahead and do that.